In the silent depths of the universe, where the echoes of past lives reverberate through the fabric of the soul, lies a profound mystery that beckons us to look beyond the surface of our earthly existence. The readings of Edgar Cayce reveal that animals are not mere creatures of instinct, but conscious participants in a spiritual dance, guided by the unseen threads of karma, the records of the Akashic, and the divine purpose of their return. As we journey into this sacred knowledge, we uncover the startling truth that the bonds between animals and their human families are woven with intentionality, rooted in the eternal quest for balance, growth, and awakening. What secrets does the soul carry across lifetimes? Why do certain animals choose to reappear in familiar environments? The answers lie hidden within the depths of spiritual history, and the revelations will forever change how we perceive our most faithful companions. In the silent corridors of the soul's eternal journey, there exists a profound and sacred mystery, one that beckons the seeker to look beyond the fleeting veneer of earthly existence and into the depths of spiritual reality. The readings of Edgar Cayce, the sleeping prophet, reveal that our understanding of reincarnation is but a fragment of a much larger tapestry, woven with divine purpose, karmic threads, and the intricate dance of consciousness. As we delve into this sacred knowledge, we begin to unravel why animals return to specific families and what spiritual truths lie hidden within their choices. The soul's journey through time is not a random wandering, but a deliberate pilgrimage toward growth, understanding, and harmony. The records of the Akashic, those vast repositories of universal knowledge, confirm that every soul, whether human or animal, is on an ongoing quest for balance. These records contain the blueprint of past experiences, lessons learned, and the divine intentions guiding each incarnation. For animals, their reincarnations are often more than mere instinctual drives. They are purposeful acts, carefully orchestrated by the divine to serve both their soul's evolution and the spiritual needs of the families they choose. The deeper question emerges: why do certain animals return to the same families, sometimes across generations? What unseen hand guides them back into familiar environments, and what is the spiritual significance of this choice? The answer lies within the understanding that the soul seeks to complete unfinished lessons, to heal karmic wounds, and to deepen bonds of love that transcend the physical realm. Cayce's readings reveal that animals are conscious beings, endowed with an understanding that surpasses human perception, beings who actively participate in their own spiritual growth and in the fulfillment of divine plans. The soul, in its eternal quest, recognizes the vibrational harmony of certain families, those whose energy resonates with its current stage of evolution. These animals, guided by their higher self, seek out environments where they can serve as catalysts of healing, teachers of love, or guides for the soul's ascent. Their return is not accidental, but predestined, part of an overarching cosmic design that aligns their spiritual purpose with the needs of their human counterparts. Furthermore, Cayce's insights affirm that animals carry memories of their past lives, imprints stored within their energetic fields, or what the ancients might refer to as the soul's records. These memory imprints influence their behavior, their preferences, and their apparent familiarity with specific individuals or environments. When an animal chooses to reappear in a particular family, it is often because that environment holds key lessons for their ongoing evolution, lessons that can only be learned through the bonds of familiar love and trust. The spiritual significance behind these choices is profound. It reveals that the boundary between human and animal is fundamentally illusory. Both are expressions of the divine consciousness seeking experience, growth, and harmony. Cayce's readings declare that the soul's journey is universal, inclusive of all sentient beings. Animals serve as mirrors and teachers, reflecting aspects of our own spiritual path and reminding us that love and consciousness are not confined to human form. In the context of reincarnation, Cayce emphasizes that the soul's desire for companionship is rooted in the divine law of unity, an eternal bond that requires the soul to revisit familiar settings, not out of mere sentimentality, but as part of its divine curriculum. These reunions are opportunities for the soul to resolve karmic debts, to deepen understanding, and to progress towards the higher consciousness of the Christ within. When an animal returns to a family, it is often because that family has spiritual tasks to complete, lessons in compassion, patience, humility, or unconditional love that are vital for the soul's upward journey. The question then arises, how does the soul choose its environment? The answer is embedded within the divine plan, guided by the consciousness that permeates all creation. The soul's higher self, in conjunction with the divine, identifies the vibrational match necessary for spiritual growth, the family's energy, the atmosphere of love and healing, and the unspoken karmic contracts all serve as the fertile soil in which the soul's next incarnation takes root. From Cayce's perspective, this understanding shifts our perception of our animal companions from mere pets to conscious, co-creators in the divine symphony. They are not accidental visitors, but purposeful participants in the unfolding spiritual drama, a drama that spans lifetimes and dimensions. Their return signifies a sacred cycle of healing, growth, and divine love that echoes through the fabric of the universe. In the stillness of the soul's silent reflection, we come to realize that these mysteries are not merely curiosities, but vital truths that illuminate our own spiritual path. When we acknowledge the spiritual significance of our animals' reincarnations, we open ourselves to a deeper understanding of the divine design. We recognize that the bonds we share are rooted in the eternal, woven with the threads of karma and love, a testament to the divine unity that underlies all of creation. The records reveal that the soul's ultimate quest is to ascend into higher states of consciousness, embodying the divine Christ consciousness within. As Cayce's teachings remind us, every incarnation, every reunion with an animal is an opportunity to reflect this divine harmony, to learn humility and unconditional love, and to remember that we are all fragments of the one source, seeking to return to our origin. So, as we continue this sacred journey, let us hold in our hearts the knowledge that the return of an animal to a family is no mere coincidence but a divine act, an expression of the soul's relentless pursuit of wholeness and love. The universe whispers its secrets through the gentle eyes of our beloved companions, guiding us to recognize that beyond the physical realm, we are all interconnected, eternally seeking the divine within. Within the sacred depths of the Akashic records lies a truth that hums quietly, yet profoundly, at the core of our divine existence. As the readings reveal, these celestial archives are not merely repositories of past events for human souls, but also for all sentient beings, a divine ledger etched into the fabric of creation itself. It is through this eternal library that the tapestry of reincarnation is woven, guiding every soul, human or animal, along its destined journey of growth, healing, and awakening. The divine wisdom of the Akashic records is imprinted in energetic signatures, vibrations of thought, emotion, and experience that transcend time and space. For every animal that graces our earthly realm, their return to family and community is no random occurrence. It is a sacred orchestration, orchestrated by the divine balance of karma, guided by the echoes of past lives stored within these cosmic registers. As an archaeologist of spiritual mysteries, I have often pondered how these energetic imprints influence their choices, their memories, and their very essence. In the divine design, each soul, whether human or animal, carries within it a unique record, a vibrational blueprint that speaks to lessons yet to be learned, wounds to be healed, and bonds to be honored. The records reveal that animals are conscious participants in this divine plan. They come into incarnation with purpose, often guided by the divine love that seeks to restore balance and harmony. Their memories of past lives, stored in the Akashic archives, serve as both compass and guide on their journey. When we consider how animals select their families for reincarnation, it becomes clear that this process is rooted in the divine law of energetic resonance. The records are filled with the imprints of previous relationships, emotional bonds formed, lessons learned, and karmic debts settled. These vibrations act as guiding signals, calling the soul to a particular environment, a specific family, or even certain individuals. The soul, in its divine wisdom, recognizes these energetic signatures and chooses a new incarnation where it can continue its work of healing and growth. The records also reveal that animals do not merely remember past lives as humans do. Rather, they carry a profound instinctual awareness of their soul's journey. This knowledge manifests in their behaviors, their preferences, and their deep, often unspoken bonds with certain humans or environments. The soul's desire to reunite with familiar energetic imprints is driven by the quest for emotional resolution and spiritual evolution. It is as if their very essence resonates with the vibrations of their previous incarnations, seeking to complete unfinished lessons or to deepen bonds that transcend the physical realm. Furthermore, the divine interplay of karma and reincarnation ensures that these imprints are not static but dynamic. The records demonstrate that each life, each experience, adds a new layer of vibrational information, building a complex multidimensional record. For animals, this means that their current incarnation is influenced not only by their past, but also by their ongoing efforts to balance karmic debts and align with their highest purpose. In the context of the divine plan, the soul's journey with animals is fundamentally rooted in love and divine justice. The records reveal that when an animal returns to a family, it is often to assist in healing emotional wounds, to teach unconditional love, or to serve as a mirror of divine truth. These creatures are not merely responding to instinct. They are, consciously, though often intuitively, following the energetic blueprint stored within the Akashic records, guided by divine love to fulfill their karmic missions. The divine wisdom also underscores that the bond between a human and an animal is sacred, a reflection of the higher consciousness that unites all living beings. As the records reveal, these bonds are often the result of shared past lives, where the soul's lessons and emotional bonds have been carried through generations. The animal serves as a divine catalyst, helping the human to awaken to higher truths, to understand the divine within themselves, and to recognize the interconnectedness of all life. In contemplating these divine truths, it becomes evident that the journey of the soul, whether human or animal, is ultimately a quest for divine unity. The records show us that every return, every reunion, is part of a grand cosmic choreography designed to awaken higher consciousness and deepen divine love. The soul seeks the balance of karma, the fulfillment of divine purpose, and the realization of its divine origin. As we stand in awe of this sacred knowledge, let us remember that our beloved animals are not mere companions of the physical realm. They are divine messengers, bearers of divine imprints, and active participants in our spiritual evolution. Through their memories stored in the Akashic records, they guide us to recognize the divine within ourselves, to understand that love, compassion, and unity are the true keys to awakening. In the divine tapestry of creation, every life, human or animal, has a sacred place. The records reveal that the divine plan is rooted in divine love, justice, and the eternal quest for spiritual awakening. As we open our hearts and minds to these profound truths, we come closer to understanding that the journey of the soul is an infinite voyage, a divine dance guided by the eternal wisdom stored in the Akashic depths, forever beckoning us toward higher consciousness and divine unity. In the silent depths of the Akashic records, where the threads of every soul's journey are woven into an infinite tapestry, there lies a sacred truth about the intricate dance between karma and reincarnation. As the ancient archives reveal, all beings, humans, animals, and celestial entities alike are bound by the divine laws of balance, designed to guide the soul's evolution through cycles of incarnations. In this sacred context, we begin to understand how animals choose, or rather are guided to, their familial bonds, not by mere chance or instinct, but by the profound influence of karmic debts and lessons seeking resolution. The soul's journey is one of continual growth, of seeking harmony within itself and with the universe. The Registros Akashicos, those divine libraries of universal consciousness, are inscribed with the lessons each soul must learn, the debts it must settle, and the virtues it must embody. It is within these cosmic archives that the intentions, motives, and karmic contracts of every incarnation are written and understood. When it comes to animals, who are often perceived as instinctual and simple beings, the truth is far richer. They are conscious participants in this divine symphony, each carrying their own karmic patterns, quests, and lessons. The role of karma in the reincarnation of animals is a sacred one, intertwined with the evolution of the soul. Their choice of family, the environment they inhabit, and the species they incarnate into are all influenced by that divine need for balance. Perhaps an animal's past life was one of service, sacrifice, or even hardship. The records reveal that in such instances, a soul might choose to reincarnate within a family or environment where it can continue its path of healing, or where its presence can serve as a catalyst for the growth of others. It is as if the divine hand guides them to specific families to fulfill their karmic purpose, to teach lessons that their souls still need to learn, or to assist in healing the wounds of the collective consciousness. Through the lens of CAYCE'S readings, we come to understand that the animal's choice of reincarnation is not random, but aligned with a higher purpose. The records speak of animals returning to families where their influence can awaken a deeper understanding of love, patience, compassion, and humility. They often incarnate in environments that challenge or complement their karmic lessons, creating opportunities to resolve old debts and to elevate their consciousness. It is a divine reciprocity, each soul seeking to balance its karma while contributing to the spiritual growth of those around it. In the grand design, the soul's primary objective is to seek balance, an essential principle of divine law. When an animal incarnates, it often carries with it karmic burdens from previous lives. Unresolved conflicts, attachments, or misalignments with its spiritual purpose. The animal's journey in this life becomes a reflection of its desire for healing and awakening. They are drawn to families where they can serve as mirrors of unconditional love, patience, or humility, thus helping their human counterparts recognize their own karmic patterns and spiritual needs. The divine law of karma ensures that no soul, animal, or human is ever truly separate from the cosmic balance. Every encounter, every bond, and every lesson is interconnected through the divine plan. When an animal appears in a family, it is not merely by coincidence, but by design, an opportunity for both the human and the animal to evolve, to learn forgiveness, patience, and compassion. The records reveal that these encounters are sacred contractings, agreements made in the divine realm before the incarnation, intended to serve the higher purpose of the soul's journey toward enlightenment. Furthermore, CAYCE'S revelations show us that animals, in their innocence and pure consciousness, often serve as catalysts for karmic resolution. They help humans confront their own unresolved debts, ignite compassion, or awaken an awareness of their divine origin. In this sacred interplay, the animal's role becomes not only that of a companion, but a spiritual guide, a messenger of divine truth assisting the soul in its quest for spiritual growth. As the soul seeks to attain harmony, it becomes increasingly aware that its incarnations, be they human or animal, are part of a greater cosmic education. Each life, each karmic lesson, is an opportunity to align with the divine will, to transcend the illusions of separation, and to remember the eternal unity of all life. The records emphasize that the soul's ultimate goal is to cultivate unconditional love and compassion, attributes that animals embody with purest intent and unconditioned grace. In this sacred understanding, we see that the choice of family by an animal is a reflection of divine orchestration. It is a manifestation of the soul's desire to find the environment best suited for its karmic healing and spiritual ascent. The divine laws of karma do not punish but guide. They illuminate the lessons that must be learned for the soul to progress. Within this divine framework, every reunion between animal and family is a sacred opportunity for healing, growth, and the fulfillment of the soul's divine purpose. Therefore, as we meditate upon these truths, let us hold reverence for all beings, those incarnated in human form and those in animal guise. For in the divine tapestry woven by the records Akashicos, each thread holds the potential for awakening, forgiveness, and divine unity. The journey of the soul is eternal, guided always by love and the sacred law of karma, an infinite dance toward the realization of our divine nature. In the silent corridors of the soul, where the echoes of divine purpose resonate beyond the constraints of time and space, the records of Akashic truth reveal profound insights into the sacred bonds that link us to the animal kingdom. As we continue our journey into the mysteries of reincarnation and karma, it becomes evident that these connections are not mere coincidences, but divinely orchestrated harmonies woven into the fabric of our spiritual evolution. The soul, in its eternal quest for growth and understanding, seeks out relationships, both human and animal, that serve its highest purpose. The divine blueprint, inscribed in the Akashic records, indicates that animals are not simply creatures of instinct or chance, but conscious participants in the cosmic dance of karma. Their journeys mirror our own, reflecting back to us the virtues we are meant to cultivate and the lessons we are here to learn. And perhaps most astonishingly, the bonds formed across lifetimes, often with animals, are grounded in a shared spiritual purpose, carefully chosen by the soul before incarnation. The teachings reveal that when an animal enters a human life, it often does so with an awareness rooted in the soul's prior experiences. They are drawn to certain families, not by mere affinity or convenience, but because of a divine recognition, a recognition that transcends the physical and touches the very essence of divine intent. These animals may have been companions in previous incarnations, guides in times of challenge, or healers nurturing the soul's growth. Their purpose is intertwined with ours, serving as catalysts for awakening, healing, and the realization of unconditional love. In the vast records, it is written that the soul's journey is marked by a tapestry of relationships, each thread sewn with intention. When an animal chooses a family, it is often because of the spiritual work that needs to be undertaken, either by the human or the animal, or by both together. The mutual connection is a sacred contract, a divine promise inscribed in the Akashic records, to facilitate growth and enlightenment. Such bonds are not superficial, but are rooted in the deepest layers of the soul's purpose, often spanning multiple lifetimes. This divine orchestration is illuminated further when we consider the concept of spiritual purpose. Every incarnation, whether human or animal, is a chapter in the ongoing story of the soul's evolution toward the divine. As the soul seeks balance and harmony, it chooses relationships that will serve as mirrors and teachers. Animals, with their pure and unconditional nature, often serve as the perfect reflection of our divine potential. They teach us to love without condition, to be present in the moment, and to embrace the purity of the heart. The connection between animals and humans, then, is not accidental. It is a sacred alignment of souls, united by shared karma and spiritual intent. These bonds are formed before birth, in the realm of the higher self, where the soul reviews its past experiences and plans future lessons. In this divine council of the soul, the purpose of each relationship is carefully considered. The animal, in its divine wisdom, often volunteers for a particular incarnation because it recognizes the opportunity to assist a human in their spiritual awakening or to fulfill its own karmic purpose. As we peer into the depths of the records, we find stories of animals returning to families with whom they have a long history, families that have in past lives been their companions, guides, or healers. The joy and recognition that flood these reunions are echoes of the soul's remembrance, a testament to the divine order that governs all life. These reunions are orchestrated to facilitate healing, forgiveness, and the deepening of compassion, reminding us that all beings are interconnected threads in the divine tapestry. The soul's conscious decision to reincarnate with a particular animal family underscores the sacredness of these bonds. It is a testament to the divine harmony that exists within the universe, a universe where every being is a reflection of divine love, and every relationship is a sacred opportunity for growth. In these connections, animals serve as living reminders of the Christ consciousness, a state of divine awareness and unconditional love that the soul seeks to embody in its journey back to the source. Moreover, the mutual bonds between animals and humans are often reinforced across multiple lifetimes, each incarnation deepening the spiritual purpose. These relationships serve not only as lessons, but as blessings, a means through which the soul can attain greater clarity and compassion. The presence of an animal companion in our lives is a sacred gift, a divine appointment that guides us gently along the path of enlightenment. In contemplating these divine truths, we are reminded that the journey of the soul is ultimately one of awakening to our divine nature. The animals who choose to return to our families do so with purpose, each one a divine messenger, a mirror of the divine love we are called to embody. Their presence invites us to remember our spiritual origins, to recognize the sacredness of all life, and to embrace the divine purpose that unites us in this eternal dance. The teachings reveal that as we open our hearts to these sacred bonds, we align ourselves more closely with the divine plan. We come to understand that every relationship, every encounter, and every shared moment is an opportunity for divine awakening. For in the sacred connection between animals and human souls, the divine essence shines forth, guiding us ever closer to the realization of our true nature, the divine consciousness that unites all beings in love and light. Thus, the records affirm that the bonds we forge with our animal companions are not random, but are woven into the sacred fabric of cosmic purpose. They are divine gifts, meant to elevate our consciousness and to remind us of the eternal truth that we are all divine sparks, forever intertwined in the divine dance of creation, seeking unity, love, and spiritual realization. In the silent corridors of the soul's eternal library, the Akashic records, lies a sacred truth, woven into the very fabric of divine consciousness. As the humble seeker delves deeper into the mysteries of reincarnation and karma, the veils lift, revealing that even the most seemingly simple acts of our animal companions are guided by celestial intent and spiritual purpose. The records of Akashic reveal that the bonds we share with animals are not merely accidents of chance or fleeting moments of affection. Rather, they are deliberate threads in the grand design woven into the tapestry of our soul's evolution, with each encounter serving as a catalyst for growth, healing, and divine awakening. In my many years of studying the teachings of Edgar Cayce, whose insights into the soul's journey remain timeless, I have come to understand that animals are not merely innocent beings of instinct. They are spiritual partners, consciously or subconsciously, guided to re-enter our lives for purposes that transcend the physical realm. The records disclose countless cases where animals, guided by their own soul's intent, consciously, or through an intricate web of karmic resonance, return to familiar environments. These journeys are orchestrated by the divine intelligence that pervades all creation, revealing a profound harmony between the human and animal worlds. One such case, etched into the Akashic fabric, involves a young woman named Margaret, who had shared a deep bond with a loyal dog named Rex in her previous lifetime. In her current incarnation, Rex appeared again, drawn irresistibly to her home after years of separation. Regrettably, the reunion was marred by misunderstandings and emotional wounds, yet the records reveal that Rex's return was no coincidence. In the subconscious depths of his soul, he remembered the sacred bond, a connection forged in the fires of past lives, serving as a bridge to her healing and spiritual awakening. Rex's reappearance was a gentle reminder that the soul seeks balance and that, through forgiveness and love, the divine purpose of their reunion could be fulfilled. Similarly, the teachings of Cayce bring forth cases where animals appear to act with what can only be described as conscious intent. An elderly man, suffering from loneliness and despair, was visited by a stray cat that refused to leave his doorstep. The records disclose that this feline was no ordinary creature. It was a soul consciously choosing to re-enter the physical plane to serve as a spiritual guide. The cat's presence ignited a transformation within the man, drawing him into a deeper understanding of divine love and the interconnectedness of all life. The cat's act of returning to that particular home was a reflection of divine orchestration, a conscious act of service by a soul seeking to restore harmony and balance. The divine plan behind such reunions is rooted in the understanding that the soul, in its quest for enlightenment, seeks to learn unconditional love, patience, and forgiveness. Animals serve as mirrors of the divine, catalysts that trigger spiritual awakening, often when we least expect it. They return not by mere chance but through a conscious or subconscious intention, guided by the divine intelligence that resides within the universe's vast, infinite records. The records also reveal that these intentions are shaped by the collective karma of the soul, an intricate web of past actions, lessons, and unresolved conflicts. When an animal chooses to reappear in a familiar environment, it is often to assist the human in resolving karmic debts, to facilitate healing, or to aid in the soul's ascent toward higher consciousness. It is a sacred dance of divine timing, where the soul's desire for growth aligns with the universe's divine plan. There are cases where animals return to families to serve as guardians of spiritual transformation. Cayce's readings tell of a dog who reappeared in a home afflicted by grief, offering comfort and unconditional love that helped the bereaved family move through their pain. The animal's return was a conscious act, a divine intervention to assist in the healing process and elevate the family's collective consciousness. Moreover, the records reveal that animals often seek environments where their presence can serve as a catalyst for spiritual awakening in humans. They are drawn to those open to divine messages, those seeking truth beyond appearances, and those willing to embrace the divine love within. Their return is an expression of divine compassion, a reminder that we are never alone, that our journey is intertwined with that of every living being. In the depths of these revelations, we come to understand that the universe is a vast interconnected web of divine purpose. Every life, human or animal, is a thread woven into the divine tapestry, each return a sacred chapter in the ongoing story of soul evolution. The conscious or subconscious intentions guiding animals back into familiar environments are manifestations of divine love, a divine orchestration aimed at awakening the divine within us all. As we contemplate these sacred truths, we realize that our animal companions are more than mere pets or companions. They are spiritual guides, celestial messengers, and co-travelers on the journey toward divine consciousness. Their visits are no accidents, but divine appointments, intentional acts of love and service written into the Akashic records awaiting our recognition and gratitude. In closing, the divine revelations contained within Edgar Cayce's teachings illuminate a profound truth. We are all connected, souls, animals, universe, woven together in the eternal dance of creation. As we open our hearts and minds to these sacred connections, we align ourselves with the divine purpose of the soul's journey. The records reveal that the universe, in its infinite wisdom, guides our animal companions back into our lives not only for our benefit, but as part of the divine plan for the evolution of consciousness. In embracing these sacred bonds, we step closer to understanding the divine within ourselves, a divine love that unites all of creation in the eternal dance of the soul's awakening. In the silent depths of the soul's eternal voyage, the revelations of the Akashic records serve as a sacred mirror, reflecting the divine interconnectedness that binds all life in the grand tapestry of creation. As we continue to explore the sacred mystery of how animals choose to return to their human families, guided by celestial design and karmic harmony, it becomes evident that these divine reunions are not mere coincidences, but profound expressions of universal love and spiritual necessity. The records reveal that every living being, from the smallest insect to the most majestic creature, is an integral thread woven into the divine fabric of existence. The soul ventures into physical form through countless incarnations, each life a lesson, a journey toward enlightenment. The divine plan, as inscribed in the Akashic records, is crafted with infinite wisdom, ensuring that every soul's path aligns with its highest purpose. When an animal chooses to reincarnate within a particular family or environment, often guided by unseen forces, it is not random, but a conscious act, a sacred agreement written into the blueprint of the soul's evolution. This understanding deepens our respect for the animal, spirits that cross our paths. They are not mere companions or pets, but co-travelers on the divine journey. Their presence in our lives is a sacred gift, a reminder of the divine love that sustains all living beings. The records emphasize that animals, in their purest form, embody aspects of the Christ consciousness, an innate awareness of unity, unconditional love, and divine service. Their spirits carry lessons for us, urging the human soul to cultivate compassion, humility, and a deeper understanding of the divine law of karma. In contemplating the divine purpose behind these spiritual reunions, we recognize that the soul seeks balance, an opportunity for healing, for correction of past missteps, and for the unfolding of higher consciousness. The animal's choice to return to a specific family or environment is often a response to the karmic needs of both the human and animal spirits involved. It is a sacred exchange, a divine dance choreographed by the higher wisdom of the universe. The records reveal that such reunions serve as catalysts for emotional and spiritual growth, awakening the human heart to the profound interconnectedness of all life. This awareness invites us to reflect on our role as co-travelers on the divine journey. As we open our hearts to the sacred bonds we share with animal spirits, we deepen our understanding of the divine love that flows through all creation. We recognize that we are not isolated beings, but integral parts of a cosmic whole, each life interconnected through the divine threads of karma and grace. The soul's journey, as the records illuminate, is a process of awakening to this divine unity, and animals serve as gentle guides along that path. The implications for human understanding are profound. When we honor the sacred nature of animal spirits, we foster a greater sense of compassion, not merely for the creatures themselves, but for ourselves and the divine plan we are part of. Compassion stems from recognizing the divine spark within each life form and acknowledging that all beings are on their own unique journey toward enlightenment. This perspective transforms our interactions into sacred acts of love and respect, aligning us with the universal consciousness that seeks harmony and healing through divine grace. Furthermore, these insights challenge us to transcend superficial judgments and recognize the divine purpose in every creature's presence. When we see animals as spiritual travelers carrying their own karma and divine missions, we cultivate humility and gratitude. We understand that our role is not to dominate or exploit, but to serve as stewards of divine love, co-creators in the ongoing process of spiritual evolution. The records reveal that such a shift in consciousness can awaken us to the profound responsibility we bear as custodians of divine life. The sacred truth of these divine reunions also underscores the importance of our own spiritual development. Through prayer, meditation, and conscious awareness, we can open ourselves to the guidance of the higher self, attuned to the divine messages carried by animal spirits. As we deepen our awareness, we align more fully with the divine will and participate consciously in the unfolding of karma and soul growth. The records affirm that as we recognize and honor the divine in all living beings, we elevate our own spiritual vibration, drawing closer to the consciousness of the Christ, a state of unity, love, and divine awareness. In this sacred understanding, the journey of the soul becomes a shared sacred pilgrimage, an eternal dance of love that transcends physical boundaries and touches the very essence of divine creation. The divine love that guides animals back to their human families is an expression of the universal consciousness, reminding us that we are all beloved children of the divine, journeying home through countless incarnations, seeking balance, love, and enlightenment. Let this knowledge be a catalyst for greater compassion, humility, and reverence. For in honoring the divine purpose behind these divine reunions, we unlock the higher secrets of existence, secrets inscribed in the Akashic tapestry of the universe, whispers of divine love echoing through every living being. As an awakened soul, I invite you to perceive every creature as a sacred messenger, a divine spark shining with the light of the Christ consciousness, guiding us closer to the eternal truth that we are all one in the divine love that sustains and unites the cosmos. Remember, every bond formed between us and our animal companions is a sacred thread woven into the divine tapestry of our soul's eternal journey. Their return, guided by divine intelligence and karmic harmony, serves not only as a testament to the cosmic order, but also as a mirror reflecting our own path toward awakening and unconditional love. As we embrace the profound truth that these reunions are purposeful acts of divine love, let us open our hearts to the sacred messages carried by these luminous beings, recognizing that in honoring their divine purpose, we deepen our connection to the divine within ourselves. I invite you to share your experiences, reflect on the divine purpose of your own bonds with animals, and subscribe to continue exploring the sacred mysteries that illuminate our soul's journey. Because in awakening to these truths, we step ever closer to embodying the divine consciousness that unites us all.